searched for bodies and who were involved in the pile and removing all the toxic debris. But most of all, I think it's a day we should think about what is it that we could have done instead of what we did.
Yeah.
3 days after 9/11, on September 14th, our Congress and the Bush-Cheney administration passed a resolution called the Authorization of Military Force Against Terror. The vote was 98-0 in the Senate, and it was 240-1 in the House. The only person who voted against it was Barbara Lee. And, yes. And she was, I think, given the courage to do that because A, she was a black woman, and B, she talked to a lot of people and went to a memorial service the day of the vote. And there was a black clergyman who said, before we act, let us not become the evil we deplore. I think we should have listened. We've gotten, it was on October 7th that the Bush-Cheney administration started bombing Afghanistan. And then it went on to an open-ended war on terror. We bombed Afghanistan and then Pakistan, Iraq, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, and the Philippines. And who knows where else we are with our 800 military bases all over the world.
Right.
The Watson Institute from Brown University has a really good website. It's called The Costs of War. And there's a couple of numbers we should remember about our militarism. At least 801,000 people have been killed directly by post-9/11 violence. 37 million, and that's probably a low estimate, have been displaced from their homes. The price tag right now stands at about $6.4 trillion. But it's likely to be, some people estimate, up to 21 trillion by the time we pay the interest on the borrowing that was done to fund this war, because we didn't raise taxes, we cut them for the wealthy.
Yeah.
Also, this whole war has contributed significantly to climate disaster because the Defense Department is one of the largest of the fossil fuel users. Okay, the largest. And I think Barbara was right. And so for the past 10 years, what I've been involved in is a closer to home thing. I'm part of the Wisconsin Coalition Ground the Drones. With Joy, we co-facilitate. We do a monthly vigil at Boat Field, which is where we have our shadow drones. These are the cameras, armed with cameras, though they can be armed with rounds. And what we do is we vigil peacefully, non-violently. And once in a while, we cross the line to try to talk to the commander. We get arrested, fined, or jailed. But that's a small price to pay because we need to be in the streets. On the other side of the square, we have the Fly Kites, Not Drones, like our t-shirts are. That comes from the children of Afghanistan. They used to fly kites. You remember the book, The Kite Runner?
Yes.
Well, they're afraid now to go out. Our drones can hover for 24 hours. The Predator and Reaper, think about those names, use Hellfire missiles. They'll drop one, and it's done by remote control with these video screens and joysticks. And we kill people. And then we drop a second bomb when the first responders come. I think that's despicable. And I really think that we need very much, the Fly Kites, Not Drones. Or one of the other signs we have at our vigil is when drones fly, children die. And I most of all want to put my faith in the words of the now deceased Representative John Lewis and to try and follow his example. Here's what he said: I urge you to answer the highest calling of your heart and stand up for what you truly believe. In my life, I have done all I can do to demonstrate the way of peace, the way of love and nonviolence. and I believe it's a more excellent way. Now it is our turn, he said your turn, to let freedom ring. Thank you.